You have a few words you'd like to share. And as you're able, you might have a seat. Thank you, everybody. We're so appreciative of having you with us today. Well, I'm Amy Boltinghouse. I am the daughter-in-law of Jerry Alsteen, and I had the privilege of getting to know him starting in 1989. I am married to Dale, and I'd like to introduce my daughter.
And I'm JC Sovich. Terry was my grandpa.
Okay. I know everyone in this room had the honor of knowing a great man. I'm not the most eloquent speaker, but I'm just going to try to speak from the heart. Terry was a family member to so many, not just those that we call dad or grandpa or uncle and brother. He just loved people in such a big way. He truly had a love affair with Pat, and I'm really happy to get to know them as the couple they were, and then the family they brought all together. Although we grieve today, we are here to celebrate an amazing man. So this is really a celebration of what he brought to our lives, how he touched us, what he taught us. He wasn't just someone who was a leader, a teacher. He was a mentor and a co-worker and a support person and someone you could lean on. He had such a strength and such a kindness. And one of the things I hope you all saw was so special about that man was how he loved you, how he loved his community, and he loved those that he didn't really even know, but he knew that needed him, and he needed them in such a big way. He touched people on such levels, whether it was in where he worked, and he was the union shop, or we'll get into this into the memorial, but I just think that we can take a moment to learn from him and take away what he taught us. And I think part of that is giving of ourselves to others and helping those around us and inspiring what we can do in every little small way that turns out to be a really big way. So I'm going to turn this over to JC now.
Okay. Also, I don't love public speaking, so hang in there with me. So, to all my family and friends, I want to tell you I love you. Because yesterday is gone, today is almost over, and tomorrow isn't promised. May Terry walk with the Lord. Terry's young adult life began after high school graduation. He spent 4 years in the United States Air Force. Upon returning to the community, he attended Lower Columbia Community College and began his life's career at the Longview Fiber. He started in 1964 with retirement in 2005. Terry accumulated 41 years of employment. During his years of work involvement with the AWPPW was especially meaningful to him, serving in numerous capacities, shop steward, several officer positions, and 2 bargaining boards. He also served 5 years on the board of Crime Stoppers. Terry realized an unidentified desire to serve by joining the board of Fiber Federal Credit Union. Passion for the job and the FCU family became part of what made him want to work harder in achieving greatness for the benefit of the community. His 35-year commitment reflected his selfless desire to make a difference in his community, no matter how small. For 6 years, Terry chose to assist veterans by volunteering at the Cowlitz County Veterans Service Center, aiding veterans in obtaining medical, housing, and disability benefits. He felt honored to assist his military brothers. Our friendships for many, very near and far, most cherished are our lifelong 65-year friendship with Jerry and Sue. How fortunate to have those memories. Terry's love of hunting, fishing, golf, and movies, good and bad, filled many hours, days, and weeks. Our travels with lots of new adventures continue, so embellishing our lives with unmeasurable shared love. Helping to aid the disaster victims after Katrina by delivering trailers was rewarding, except for peeing by the roadside got old. Grandma can tell you all about it if you need. Quite eventful after 70,000 miles. This is just one of many, many rewarding memories. Terry and Pat's 48 years of marriage was nothing short of legendary. It can truly be said that they were each other's best friend and soulmate. A love like theirs is one we can all strive for and be so lucky to find. A love that is built on deep respect, admiration, shared values, and maybe most important of all, friendship. After Terry's diagnosis, he was having a conversation with Pat. He was proud to say that if he was to have had a bucket list, it would be complete. He had done everything he wanted to do, a remark that speaks to the legacy of his life. Thank you to our family and friends for so enriching our lives.
So, again, like I mentioned, I think Terry's connections to others, not only family, but to all of you, and in so many different ways. But Terry is survived by his Pat wife, also by his amazing daughters, Trina and Greg Plett, spouse, sorry, this is where I get a little messed up, but Trina and Greg, daughters, and then Tanette and John Scully, and your lovely families, all of your extended family, the blended family that I've been a part of, I think was really special, and I think that really goes back to what you brought to each other and how you helped each other and supported each other. I really enjoyed that. He was, and his sisters, Sandra and Diane, are both here. It's so great to see the family united and seeing all of you together, even though we live so far away. It's unfortunate that we just don't have that kind of ongoing connection. We have Debbie and Bob Pierce, Dale and Amy Boltinghouse, and Becky Boltinghouse, and Kaylee. He was preceded in death by two sons, Don Boltinghouse and Rick Johansson, and I'm cherishing the reunion they're having right now. Also, he was a proud grandpa of 13 grandchildren and great-grandpa to 12, and 2 more on the way. Congratulations. So, again, what an honorable person. And I think part of what I've been reflecting on today is Jerry's, "Hi, sweetheart," the big hug, and then that inevitable chuckle you'd have at the end, right? When you leave, you had a great big chuckle. That was so endearing and so sweet. So if you would be so willing to share your special memories with him, about him, and just help us kind of have that reminiscence and that joy in what you brought to our lives, we do have some microphones we can bring around to share. This includes everyone that's with us in the room, but additionally for those that are with us remotely. So I think it's just special to kind of recall on what he brings to our lives. So if you have a memory, we have cards on the table as well. You know, when you get a chance to reflect on that, and then how you can share on that, and then it grows, and then that leads to the next one and the next one. That's just that joy, and I think he was a joyful person and a wonderful man, and I'd love for us to have a moment to share that today.
If you do leave a memory, there is a card box in the back that you can put it in.
So now it's up to you.
Hands up real high so I can see you. It's on the point over here.
I'm Jim Stoner. I'm with the Veterans Service Center. I've known Terry for, I think, almost as long as we've been in existence on First Street. And Terry was a great part of it. He was the one person that would always volunteer whenever we had a need, maybe a day step up. He was always willing to help. He was totally committed to helping veterans. He undertook the role of a VSO where he would meet with veterans, talk about their situation. He was friendly, caring, loving. On a personal note, every day that I saw him, which was at least twice a week, he was talking about his family. He loved his family so much. He would also talk about all of his winnings, which, you know, I wanted to go with him to the casino sometime because he and Pat could win. I'm surprised they're still in business. We have a golf tournament, and Terry came up with the idea of a walk of fame, and that is a big part of our tournament. It's a series of signs that honor veterans, both living and dead, taps, and reveille. But in any event, it was a great addition. You know, he was an idea man, and he was always willing to participate in creating new ideas. So we're going to miss him a lot. We love him, and he was everything a veteran should be. Loyal, loyal, loyal. I don't know if anybody else at the veterans table here want to say anything, but here's our El Presidente.
I'm William Bangs. I got to know Terry during his time serving with us at the Veterans Service Center. He was a mentor, a great friend, always willing to listen to anything that you needed to talk to him about, and he was always there to serve veterans. That was his first priority. We thought the world of Terry, and we'll miss him dearly, like Jim said, but I'm telling you, he was one of a kind, special, very special. And I can't say enough about his relationship with me, being a mentor and just a good friend. Thank you.
I'm reading this as a letter from our son David to Pat and her family. He couldn't be here, he's in the East Coast. Dear Pat, our thoughts and prayers have been with you and your family during this difficult time. I wanted to share with you one of my favorite memories of Terry because it has stayed with me all these years. Not long after Lynn and I married, I was considering joining the Air Force. My dad suggested I talk with Terry, and I'll never forget the conversation we had. He didn't just give me a quick answer, he gave me wisdom. Terry told me, David, get a guaranteed job before you commit. Choose something that will serve you well, not only in the Air Force, but also in the civilian world. That advice shaped the course of my career, and honestly, the rest of my life. Terry had a way of speaking truth in such a practical, encouraging way. He didn't push, but he guided with care. Looking back, I can see how his words helped launch me into what eventually became a lifelong path in technology and cybersecurity. For me, Terry will always be remembered as a man whose wisdom was steady, whose encouragement was sincere, and whose influence reached further than he probably ever knew. With love and deepest sympathy, David and Lynn.
Anyone else? Oh. Speaking to us.
Yes, everybody, I knew Terry. I'm Trudy Alsteen. Terry was oldest. I was second. Bernadette was the third, and we went with Sandy. I had the privilege of knowing Terry like my family, because I didn't have a good family. But Aunt Dorothy and Uncle Hank were wonderful, and I loved them. And Terry was so gentle. Of course, he had to deal with me, Sandy, always. He'd go, "Now what do you girls want?" "Nothing." "Yeah." He said, "Don't tell me that." And then when he got his driver's license, he came to Vancouver to get me lots of times. But he was such a gentle soul, and he'll be missed. I love you, Terry.
Amazing. It's truly amazing to be here and see so many tears shed by so many people over a guy that could be so much fun. I just want to share something that may be a little bit, what's the word when you exaggerate a tiny bit? There may be a little of that in here. But Terry and I used to love to go fishing, and we used to go with Hammer and Hank. And there's probably a number in here that know Hammer and Hank. We had a really neat boat. We'd go out in the ocean and the motor would never fail to break down. And so consequently, one day we're going out across the bar there when we were headed for buoy 10, and Terry looks at me and I look at Terry. Hammer and Hank, where's he at? Got his head down in the hole, fixing the motor. So what do Terry and I do? We get the poles out, we go fishing. Fishing was great, let me tell you. That boat had a front end in it where you lifted the seats up a little bit and there was a storage area in there. We proceeded to fill that area with fish. About the time we got it finished getting it filled up, we're across the bar, we're almost to buoy 10, and who sticks his head out? Hammer and Hank. And he said, "Well, how's it going, guys? You ready to go fishing?" "Yeah, we're ready to go fishing. Let's go." So anyway, Hank gets up there and we start fishing and we continue to catch fish. And about that time, Hammer and Hank, he gets the idea that maybe we haven't told him exactly what was going on. And so he said, "Hey guys, what were you doing while I was working on the motor?" "We were working." "What were you working on?" "Well, we were working on the poles and the reels." "What do you mean you're working on the poles and the reels?" "We were working on the poles and the reels. Somebody had to bring the fish in."
Yeah, I just want to say, Terry was a wonderful and beautiful cousin. I didn't get to really spend too much time with him when I was younger because, the family was way up here and we could out battleground. But come to know, as I grew older and I got my driver's license, I was like a chain link. Nobody in my family said, "Oh, I know Terry." Me, I was bam. I was with everybody. And so Terry recently, we were started last time I was with him. We were trying to put the family, history together, the Alsteens. And we had so much fun laughing together and, go through pictures and tossing things here and there. And then he's telling me about different passwords. And I'm like, "Terry, I can't remember all these." He goes, "Well, it's easy as counting." And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "All you have to do is count backwards." I go, "Yeah, right. Okay, I can't even count forward." And he goes, "Oh, come on." His numbers weren't in order. They were mixed, especially in spacing 3 times. But we had so much fun laughing and having a good time together. And like I said, I didn't get to know too much when we were growing up because he was a lot older than me. But I always try to follow around at his parents' house. And he used to ditch me and laugh when he hide behind the bush. And so I kind of gave up on that. But as we got older, it was so much more fun being with him. And he's a wonderful cousin, and I'll always remember him. And so I know he's watching down on us, and he knows that we all love him. And I just want to say I love him very much. He's a wonderful cousin.
He is going to be very missed. There's so many memories I have. I'm a sister, Diane, in case you haven't met me. I know that we are all spread out all over everywhere. I live in Hawaii, he lives here, many live in Seattle, and all over as far as Portland from here today. And so we're all spread over, but yet, he was the connecting force here today, and I was just watching this. There's so many people that loved him. And I wanted to talk about just one thing, the memory that holds dear to my heart. Because I had an opportunity approximately 8 years ago. I was trying to remember when this was, but we were able to go to Wisconsin and research some of our family roots on the Alsteen side, very specifically. It was an adventure for him and I. It was him and I by ourselves on this trip for a couple of weeks. And we went all over Wisconsin. We went from county to county looking for all these things. And one day, bingo! That was another one of his words. Bingo! We found a newspaper clipping on our great-grandfather, Garrow, the chief, Native American chief. We found it. We found what we were looking for. The excitement was beyond measure of finding that one thing that was so important to him, to know his history. History. There's history here today. That was important to him. And not only that, we started finding marriage certificates. All sorts of things started to unfold. And we just, it was such a gift. We didn't complete everything, but it was the fact that it was real, that we had something in our hands. We had something to show that this trip was meaningful. But the most meaningful part was that we got to spend time together. Many years had passed, being in different places, in different times, in different stories, different chapters, and we were unable to come together. But this one trip, for a couple of weeks, we got to experience that together. And it's the beauty of the history of him in this room today that he loved, and he loved all of you. Thank you.
I'm cousin Jackie, and I had the privilege of going and seeing Pat and Terry about a month before he passed. And my brother Bruce, who always lived in the Philippines, was here visiting, and he wanted to see Terry. And Terry had held on to this knife that our dad made and gave him when Terry was like 16, but he wanted my brother Bruce to have it. So we went up there, had a wonderful visit. He gave him that knife. So sweet. Pat was so gracious. But I also had a chance to say, Terry, you know Jesus loves you. He says, I know. He's my Jesus. So I said, and he's smiling now. And I said, keep the door unlocked because I'm coming.
Let's see.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ray Daggett. I'm nephew of Terry, Sanders' son. Everything about him, the man was genuine. I mean, just happy and loving to every one of us. And, you know, and it's like, we weren't like bonded like really close, but every time I talked to him, we talked for a long time. And it's like back, because we lived up north, and he needed help for a hunting trip, and he just called me, and I was really blessed by the fact that he'd say, I need help to go get his animals. So I went out and helped him, tried to do the same with Donnie, but we were unsuccessful. And I just really enjoyed the time, and he was really proud, you know, of me, because how our life is now, because we now finished working and whatnot. And veteran we both were. So, as that's the path we chose in life, to start out in the military, and go on. And there's nothing more than, he was just a great man in general, and always happy and loving to everyone.
Just want to say this, others, I got a guardian angel now. His name is Terry Alsteen. And I love him so much. And I'm gonna miss him. And I remember the days when we were growing up in my family home with Hank and Dorothy, which were our parents. And we all played games all the time. Aggravation, pinochle, smear. Remember that gal? He was such a good brother. If I needed something, he would be there. And he's going to be there when I get to heaven with him. He's a good father. He loves all the kids. And he loved his wife so much. And she took good care of my brother. She did. She was amazing. And I love Pat too. And all of her kids. And Terry's kids. And all his grandkids. Even if I hadn't met them. They wish they would though. But he was my brother. He was 2 years older than me. And you see the baby picture there. Me and Terry, I got one too at home. But he liked to fish, he liked to hunt. He liked all that stuff. I think he got to my son's heart. He did. As Raymond was growing up. Yes, he did. And the Terrence too. And Mary's. And poor Roy, he liked Terry too. And he's gone. But anyway, they'll see each other there. Yep. My guardian angel. Thank you, I love y'all. Thank you for being here.
I didn't know much of Terry since he was my neighbor, but the times I did hang out with him, I was really close to him and stuff. My grandma was really close friends with him. We like to go bingoing together, like gambling and stuff. Whenever you got like a kiddish gift from bingo, he would give it to us. He always brought a smile to people who were around. We will miss him a lot.
Anyone else has any, shared memories or just a joke he might have told you, something that made him special? But you can see that I think the love that he shared and the big heart that he had is something that I will always admire and hold dear, and I see that in his family and his, all that they give to others, and I'm excited for the future that they hold, because I know he'll be watching over and guiding on a regular basis, so. If there's anything else anyone would like to share, you're welcome to have some refreshments and some desserts. I know Trina and to a lot of love to share some of these special treats and some things that they brought, and so please help yourself, and I think we have a couple more comments.
Everyone, thank you so much for coming, but mostly my family. I have to thank my daughters, my daughter-in-laws, my son-in-laws, Terry's daughters and granddaughter put together all these centerpieces, my daughter